Your community welcomes you again. You go to the same mosque, you live in the same house, you get the same job, you've got the same family and friends. No one looks down upon you. No one criticises you. No one assaults you.
But where are the famous, decent, moderate Muslims in all this? So far, zero community leaders or imams have come out and come forward. And we talk about decent, law-abiding, moderate Muslims.
There is a few.
Yeah.
But I can count on one hand.
Well, I was going to say, are they something I copied off somebody else here, the silent, invisible majority or the non-existent majority? I would argue it's the existence. And somebody else said this, it's been said, radical Muslims are snakes, yeah? Moderate Muslims are the grass they hide in. And I think that's true. We have seen no Muslims coming out and speak. Well, we've seen one or two, and I think you interviewed.
Yeah, we have.
We've seen but it's literally either the ones that come out are vilified, and I think what's even worse, Nick, we've seen this. The few Muslims in the grooming gangs who have been prosecuted, arrested, sent into prison, whilst they're actually being tried, their families are in the docks cheering them on, spitting and shouting at the white victims, and then when they come out of prison, they are embraced back into their communities.
Yeah.
Whereas what happens to a white child rapist in this country?
He would be assaulted in the street.
Yeah.
I remember talking to an old man when I was a kid, and he knew it was either the brother of the cousin, I think it was a cousin, or the brother of the cousin of one of the Moors murderers. I can't remember if it was Mary Henley or Ian Brady, but he was related to them. And he was telling me, he was in Gorton in Manchester, and he was saying on most Friday nights, this relative of one of them would regularly be assaulted after it all came out.
Yeah.
He had nothing to do with the murders.
Yeah.
All that was wrong with that man was he shared some genes with a monster.
Yeah.
And that was enough for him to be assaulted almost every weekend in the pub.
Yeah.
He didn't even really know these people. He wasn't involved. He never got interviewed by the police. He was just related to one of them. That's how we used to treat paedophiles and child murderers in this country. If you were related to one of them, you got a hard time.
Yeah.
Where in the Pakistani community, you can rape white children, probably not go to jail, but even if you go to jail, when you're out, your community welcomes you again. You go to the same mosque, you live in the same house, you get the same job, you've got the same family and friends. No one looks down upon you. No one criticises you. No one assaults you. Because at some level it's acceptable.
Yeah, and that's the difference, isn't it? Culturally, the white British people, the indigenous population, despise child rapists. They are vilified, they're attacked in prison. Yeah. They're, can often be killed in prison as well. Whereas in the Muslim community, in the Pakistani Muslim community, it's accepted. This is okay. Yeah. This is fine. Yeah, this is, nobody has complained. And that in itself is another thing that stinks about all this. The fact that nobody in the Muslim community is saying anything about this.
The Muslim community in general have let themselves down. There's, 4 or 5 million Muslims in the UK? I can count on one hand the ones I've heard on the news, on social media, talking about this and being critical. On one hand, and there's a population of 4 or 5 million. Disgraceful.
Now, there have been a few people talk that there's a guy I think called Raja Mia.
Yeah.
So I think you interviewed him. I think he is a Muslim, isn't he?
He's a Muslim, Bangladeshi origin.
Yeah, and he's actually spoken out about this.
Yeah. Constantly for the last 6 years.
And how has he been received both in the Muslim community and by the establishment in terms of...
He's been arrested 6 times by Greater Manchester Police for hate crimes and stuff like that. Every case has been thrown out of court, so he's not got a criminal record because it's always been politically motivated. That's why they keep arresting him. He has challenged Oldham Council. He's put projects together and campaigns together that have got certain people deselected and losing their council seats. He's been fighting this for 6 years. He still goes to mosque.
And what's happened in his community?
I'm not too sure. It doesn't seem to be that bad. His problems are really with the council and the organised criminal Muslim community, because a lot of this is criminal as well. He's had a hard time. but he still managed to keep his faith. He still goes to mosque, but he's been fighting this for 6 years.